my name.
DeOndre.
DeOndre.
Or DeOndre.
DeOndre.
The one and only.
When they see me, they know that every day when I'm breathing, it's for us to go farther. You know, every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
A few days ago, iDubbbz TV. If you guys aren't familiar with him, he is a pretty big YouTuber. He has, damn near close to about 8 million subscribers. He's most famous for content cop videos that he used to do, a long time ago. And it was a little over a 17-minute video that he posted on his channel. And basically, it was him kind of taking responsibility or it was an apology video for all of the, hateful and, bigoted comments and content that he's made in the past. Title of the video says, I miss the old iDubbbz. The title of the video refers to the audience who still align with his, old rhetoric and how they shouldn't be doing it anymore. I, did, watch the video and everything like that. I want to kind of bring out certain points in that video that I think are really crucial. Some parts that I really resonated with. Now, mind you, when it comes to the YouTuber iDubbbz himself, when he was making this, this content cop, these content cops and all of that, I wasn't really familiar with him. To be honest, there was a lot of my subscribers that were, telling me about him. But, I never really watched any of his, content like that, to really be on top of the whole content cop videos. He spoke to a lot of things that a lot of content creators go through over their careers on this platform, and a lot of them I actually resonated with myself, and so I wanted to talk about it because I just thought it made sense to do so.
For a while I felt like if I changed my content over time that people would see that as a reflection of who I am and what I value. I'm starting to realize that that is a very weak and passive way to run my channel and live my life. If I'm gonna have the balls to go to Hannah's fan meetup and say slurs at her and then make a video about how it's okay to say slurs, I think I should have the balls to make an apology video and take accountability for the mistakes I've made. So that's what this video is.
Now, the hurtful and damaging content he's referring to, again, was a video section on his channel called Content Cop Videos, where, it's involved him criticizing other YouTubers' content and behavior for whatever the reason was. And in one Content Cop video, he was talking about the YouTuber Tana Mongeau. I'm not really that familiar with that YouTuber either, but however, he was criticizing her use of the N-word. She did tweet at him criticizing his use of it, and he doubled down and found past content of her doing the same. Now, in this video, he attempts to obviously make things right, apologize. He pivoted away from doing that. He said for a while that he was moving away from that type of content as far as content cops and him just going at other YouTubers and just shouting slurs and all kind of stuff. Mind you, that shit is not cool at all, period. And he acknowledges that. And he's saying, listen, like that I wasn't really doing that, right? I wasn't really trying to do that. I wasn't really trying to go in that route forever. He's clearly grown up since then. Realizes that, I'm not going to be doing that. Really what I want to speak to is I'm not going to go over this whole entire video because it is kind of long. I will kind of pick out some things that I feel, I can relate to in regards to the situation, because he talks about shifting away from certain types of content or just content that he just didn't really feel comfortable making anymore. And a lot of us as content creators go through that where, we are afraid to kind of pivot, or a lot of content creators are afraid to kind of pivot from what they found success from initially, either because they just simply don't want to do it anymore, making those videos, they don't like the way it makes them feel, they don't like the audience that it has brought to them, but because it's paying the bills, they feel as though they have to continue to make the videos, right? Because it's keeping the lights on, but they internally don't feel good doing it. And I feel that that's what iDubbbz is speaking to in this video.
I've realized that I need to be crystal clear about what I believe, so there's no room for ambiguity. I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel. And I've also created a culture of apathy and, I don't know, a lot of like cruelty as well. Like, you know, some of the videos I've made have been very, not edgy. I don't think they, you know, some of these videos were edgy. I think they were just outright cruel. So I don't want people to, you know, get it confused about, you know, where I stand. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
So obviously in this video, you can see that he is taking accountability for the crazy content that he was making at the time. Mind you that he says, listen, I'm sorry that it's taken me this long to kind of come forward and say that I'm sorry and I apologize about it. You know what I'm saying? And listen, we all fallen victim to making, you know, what he's going to refer to as cringe content, because that's the kind of content, unfortunately, that, you know, gets the views and gets the revenue and gets all of the attention and likes and all of that. And so, you know, I literally just did a video about it. I was talking about this guy that was literally going around and pouring water, pretending it was gasoline on people's cars as a prank. That is cringe content to me. I will always say that that's cringe content, because you're doing that solely for the sake of shock value and trying to get views. You're literally going around harassing people for no other reason other than for clout and for views. And it's annoying. And, you know, he's kind of referring to, you know, his content cop videos and putting that in the same category as, you know, those other cringe videos, because he believes that that's what they were.
The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons, and you know, obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human, I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and, you know, I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not. It's super irresponsible and shitty. I am very insecure about my ability to create interesting content or like entertain. It's gotten better over the years, but it's something that I have struggled with constantly.
Obviously, you know, what I was saying before, he's talking about his content cop videos. Now, at the time when he was doing that, and also I did see that Charlie Moist Critical, you know, he did make a video in regards to this as well. But I just kind of wanted to get my own 2 cents on it, as, you know, my own 2 cents on it too, because this is something that I have a video on my own channel where I am not making an apology video, but I'm going the same route that as he is in regards to shifting my content. You know, as many of you already know, I used to do reaction videos, right? I used to do videos in regards to, you know, music, and, you know, I would, you know, literally come up in here and listen to music and, you know, just react to it. And for a good period of time, I was doing that for not a good, really, since 2017, right? Since 2017, I was doing it, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. You know, I thought it was really, really cool. But then over time, you know, you start to really kind of get sick of doing that. Even though my channel was kind of growing and I was, you know, kind of getting a little bit more support for my channel and all of that from doing the reaction, I just simply didn't want to do it anymore. And I decided to pivot and change the content that I was making, which you as a content creator, if you're listening to this, you have every right to do. And honestly, you don't need to make videos, the one that I made and the ones that I've seen other people make, including iDubbbz, in regards to, you know, shifting your content. And he speaks to being very, you know, insecure about, you know, the content that he, you know, will be making, as far as him shifting away from his old content. A lot of content creators face that fear of wanting to do something else when they have already established success in one thing. And it's not even just content creators, businesses, global businesses, you know, other companies out there, more powerful and more, you know, bigger than any YouTuber I know, you know, they focus on the same thing, right? They go through the same thing of wanting to shift away from certain things because it's just something that they feel maybe isn't profitable anymore, or it's just something that they feel that they need to do in order for the success of their brand or their business, right? Now, in the case of content creators and iDubbbz, he wanted to pivot away from making content cop videos. He wanted to pivot away from doing that. He didn't like doing it anymore, point blank. And that's okay. You know, like you can move away and shift away, but a lot of people are afraid of doing that because it can result in a loss of subscribers, a loss of views, a loss of obviously money that comes along with that. You're kind of left with a decision. Okay, do I keep doing this in which I hate? Do I keep making the content that is paying the bills but I hate making it, or do I pivot to something else that makes me more happy? You know, the answer should always be you pivot to what makes you happy, right? But a lot of times the answer, that direction isn't always easy to go, especially when you have millions and millions of subscribers that have subscribed to you for really one thing. And the content cop videos were, you know, a big hit for him. And so he decided to continue doing it, even if it really wasn't something that he wanted to do. When it comes to myself, I decided to not do reactions anymore, right? I still get comments on my video asking me to do reactions to music. And, you know, I just don't really want to go that route anymore. It was fun while I was doing it and I had a great time, but I don't really want to go that route and do it anymore.
And it's one of the reasons why I kept making this hurtful content. You know, I ended up pivoting it into other things because I felt bad about it, like innately. But it's still something that I struggle with, and I don't want you to interpret that as an excuse, but I hope that that is relatable to other creators who maybe struggle with the same thing. I'm not confident in my ability to entertain, and I think if I had to rely on my personality to entertain people, that I wouldn't have any amount of success.
I really appreciate iDubbbz's honesty in this video because it's something that I feel like a lot of creators need to do more of, because a lot of your favorite creators, man, and I know I'm just, you know, a random old 17K subscribed channel, right? So I'm not like the biggest, you know, channel in the world, but I appreciate all the supporters that I have and all the people who continue to rock with me through the transitions that I've had in my channel. But I appreciate his honesty in this because you don't get it a lot. You don't get a lot of honesty on this platform, period. So the fact that, you know, he's being so open about the fact that, listen, he struggles with the fact that he doesn't think that his personality is good enough to really attract the amount of people that he's attracted to his channel, right? He doesn't think that, you know, when he was considering pivoting his channel to something else, that he would really have any success in it. And that is 100 million billion % true for all content creators, no matter if it's on YouTube, TikTok, you know, Instagram, whatever, right? Especially when you have already found success in one type of genre or niche or, you know, topic or whatever. And he said that he literally did not feel good making the kind of content cop videos that he was making, but he decided to keep going forward because it was getting him more views, more success, more attention, notoriety, whatever. But he didn't want to do it anymore. He didn't feel right. That's the decision, like I, you know, said earlier, that content creators have to make. Okay, do I want to keep the lights on, or do I want to do what makes me happy? But, you know, the whole thing is, why can't it be both? You know, why can't you do something that keeps the lights on but also makes you happy at the same time? And listen, you know, he's growing up, right? He doesn't want to do that shit anymore, and he shouldn't. You know, it's not great to be, you know, using slurs or, you know, being bigoted or racist or whatever the hell, you know. And mind you, like I said, I wasn't like the biggest iDubbbz, you know, supporter or viewer or subscriber or whatever. I didn't even really know about him until recently. So, you know, there's that. I'm not really familiar with, you know, all of the content that he was making, but, you know, I did resonate with this message because it's something that is very true. It rings true to a lot of people, including myself.
And that is really hard to come to terms with. I was being very bigoted in a lot of my videos, and I justified it because, you know, I didn't think it was too serious. And I thought that people were going to see that I had good intentions, you know, but that's so silly, you know. Casual racism is still racism. Casual bigotry is still bigotry. And, you know, I said a lot of things that I look back at and I cringe now, and I'm like, that is an awful thing to say. It doesn't matter what my intentions are. Like, if I'm hurting people, I'm hurting people. And, you know, who the fuck knows what my intentions are? Like, sarcasm and like jokiness and jokey tone only goes so far, especially over the internet. Even in real life, that's like an impossible thing to know with 100% certainty. I've just always had this dumb philosophy that I'm not responsible for, you know, my audience and how they behave beyond what content I put out.
I believe he's right? Obviously, you know, if he's shouting slurs, no matter whatever the slurs is, that's not good. And he acknowledges that. And I'm glad that he acknowledges that. It's not great to be doing that, period, no matter what age you are, right? Now, he says he looks back on his content and he cringes, you know, and I'm glad that he does that, because if you were doing something that you know was hurtful and you know is something that was not a good thing to do, then obviously, yes, like you would. But honestly, most of us would go back on our previous videos that we made, especially early on in our careers. Of course, we're going to sit there and cringe at it because we didn't know what we were doing, right? Like some things that were acceptable years ago, 2017, 2016, 2015, whenever, you know, you started your platform, you know, obviously a lot of things have changed now. It's 2023. And a lot of things, you know, you grow up, right? Your mentality changes, right? Your subscriber base, right? You know, a lot of times they can be younger and then they end up growing up and stuff that they were into, they're not into anymore, right? So that we're allowed to change our mindsets and mentalities in regards to that, you know. But I cringe at some of my old videos, man, and a lot of my videos are still on the channel. I mean, I haven't really deleted a good amount of videos, but the videos that are still there, you know, I look back and I cringe too. It happens, you know, especially when you're starting out on this platform. It's just something that it's inevitable. Nobody comes on the platform and it's just a YouTube god, right? Like there's a gradual progression. There's a progression to getting to these major numbers that a lot of these big YouTubers are at. There's a natural progression to it, and all of us go through it.
And that's stupid, and it's led to a lot of hate and a lot of bad outcomes. And I just want to make it clear that I am absolutely responsible for my audience. And you know, I guess if you want to look out for people who are red flags, it's definitely people who had my mentality that say, I'm not responsible for what my audience does.
Now, here's where I kind of, you know, am going a different way when it comes to iDubbbz, right? In regards to your supporters or your subscribers or people who, you know, come from the community that, you know, you've established, you know, you aren't responsible for how they behave, okay? You don't know these people. Like, let's just be 100% candid on this, 100% honest. Your subscribers, you don't know them unless you have a good amount of family members, friends, you know, people who you actually know as subscribers of yours. You know, that's different. But even then, you're not responsible for their own actions, especially if they are adults or anything like that. You create content and you put it out there. Now, unless you are specifically trying to, you know, send hate trains to people's channels or, you know, send, you know, negativity to other people, and you're specifically stating that, then yes, then you are 100% wrong for that. But if you're just putting out content and people on their own merit, on their own accord, are deciding to go out of their way and, you know, be hateful to other people or, you know, be just pure losers to other people and just treat them and say any old kind of thing in their comment sections, then yeah, you know, that's on them. That's not on you. Your subscribers, your supporters are people who support your content. That's it. Okay, you don't know them, they don't know you. You don't know their family, they don't know your family. Like, it's not, you know, that's not the case. I understand you want to take accountability for what, you know, your part in this is, but, you know, you can't take accountability for what your viewers do, especially if you didn't initiate anything of the sort.
I know that this apology isn't enough. I've clearly done a lot of damage. You know, these videos have been up for a long time and have accumulated millions of views. I shouldn't be able to just make an apology video and walk away from it. This is something that I should live the rest of my life with, and I expect to. I've profited off of this bigoted content for years, and I've made a successful career out of it. And that's not right. I think that this is only a step in the right direction, and I know that a lot more needs to be done to even approach a life that I would think would be like acceptable. I am running ads on this video, and any revenue generated from this video I'm going to match and donate to an organization that would have been particularly affected by the type of rhetoric that I've been spewing on this channel.
Obviously, towards the end there, he says that he is going to be running ads on the video, and any revenue that he makes off the video is going towards charitable organization, all that stuff, and that's great. If that's what he chooses to do, then that is what he chooses to do. However, this is the part that really bothers me in regards to these kind of videos and people who want to try to pressure the content creator to not run ads on certain videos, right? And in this kind of video, he's well within his right to run ads, okay? Like, it's his channel, he's doing what he wants to do on his channel, okay? He's making a video, apologizing and taking accountability for some past content that he thought was appropriate for the time, and that he thought was, something that was gonna, garner him success for his channel. And he is acknowledging that that was wrong, right? That was wrong to do. But at the end of the day, he feeds his family and he has bills to pay, right? At the end of the day, right? And at the end of the day, he's not telling you not to go to work and collect a check. There's literally people who literally are going to work and not doing shit all day, but they still collect that check on Friday. This is his job, right? This is his career. This is what he is making his living on, is on his channel. Okay, along with anything else that he, is doing monetarily. If he wants to run ads on these videos, man, on this video, he could run an ad. Now, he's choosing to donate the proceeds to, charitable organizations and helping people, and that's great. I'm clapping to that. But, if he, thought that he's doing that because, oh, it might be taken the wrong way if I decide to run, ads and just keep the money. Like, a lot of content creators, when they make certain videos like this, or they feel that, oh, I can't run ads and my audience won't like that, or well, the reality is certain people may not like that, but at the end of the day, this is what you do for a living. This is what you decided to dedicate your time to and your effort to. So if you are running ads on the video, then that's your decision to do. No, because at the end of the day, when it's the first of the month and the bills got to be paid, which one of your supporters out there doing it? Which one of these naysayers are out there helping you pay those bills? No one. So again, like I don't really agree with the whole not running ads on these kind of videos. Now, obviously, there are certain things that it may not be a good look to run ads on them. Like, let's say if you're reporting the death of someone, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that, I can understand why somebody might not run an ad on. But if you're just simply, taking accountability for something you did and it's on your channel, then, by all means, what's the issue with running an ad? I just don't see a problem with it, especially if it's something that you're taking accountability for.
I didn't like, interacting with my fans. I just want to be clear, like, that was my realization. I think a lot of people are like, of course that happened, is because you were creating that culture and you were attracting those people. And it's like, yes, I know. I know now. I didn't know before. It was my realization upon, meeting more and more fans that I was like, oh shit, you guys are struggling. It was easy for me to identify them struggling when they were outside of my body. But the antisocial basement dwelling incel that was inside here, I couldn't acknowledge that. I couldn't recognize that.
This little clip here is just basically him saying that, he didn't really like the audience that he was creating on his channel. And again, that's something that I go back to in earlier in this video. That happens a lot. A lot of times, we find success doing something that we think is cringe later on. And then, you end up resenting the audience that you've built because now you don't want to do this content anymore, but your fans and subscribers and people who are supporting, that content, they want to keep seeing that, but you don't want to keep doing it. So now what do? At the end of the day, it's what he's saying is very, very common. And I didn't know anything about iDubbbz, So I can't really speak to all of the content cops and, you know, any of the other crazy videos he was making, but, you know, in regards to speaking about wanting to change his content because he wasn't liking what he was becoming, or he wasn't liking the way the channel was going and his audience, it is all perfectly normal for YouTubers all across the country, all across the land, okay? It's perfectly natural to feel like that. And honestly, you know, kudos to him for wanting to take his content in a different direction and realizing that what he was doing was fucked up, or it was wrong, or, you know, whatever the case. But anyway, man, that's really my 2 cents on the whole iDubbbz situation. A lot of people wanted me to kind of talk about it, so here I am, okay? But anyway, that's going to do it for the video, man. Stay lit, believe in God, believe in yourself. Everything else will work out for itself, man. Peace.